Hello, my sewing friends. Let me tell you all about my weekend with Trish from Pinky's Farm. I'm Jen, and this is my sewing room where I was absent last weekend because I was off having a glorious time with Trish from Pinky's Farm. I'm going to link her video about our weekend right up here so you can click on it and it will stay there while you watch this video, and then it will be there for you to click on and you can go watch hers right after. I'll also link it down in the description box. Oh my goodness, let me explain. There's some background. There are a group of us here in Florida that somehow have all found each other. I'm not sure how it happened. I think it all has to do with Carmen Salome, to be honest. Everybody has a YouTube channel as well, but there's Michelle from Michelle Sews Again, there's Carmen from Carmen Salome, there's Trish from Pinky's Farm, there's Heather from Textile Tailored Thoughts, there's Robin from Robin's Love of Sewing, and it seems like there are a couple more people here and there but don't have YouTube channels, but all of those people do. And so we've all kind of gotten connected with each other, and some of us are pretty tight. And so Michelle and I were talking about Trish, and I offhandedly said, I'm going to go up there. I'm just going to go up there and see her. And Trish said, well, come on, come up and see me. I kind of invited myself, but I just really wanted to meet her and see her. I love meeting the other people that I talk to all the time, either online, on Instagram, on texting, it doesn't matter. So we worked it out so that I could go up and see her last weekend. So it took about 3.5 hours. I live on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and Florida is not very wide when you're talking about the peninsula. It's only about 2.5 hours from the Gulf Coast to the Atlantic coast, depending on where you're going. And I had to go northeast, so I kind of cut at a slant going up through Florida. She lives over by Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, where all the rockets get launched into space. I am such a NASA nerd. I'll tell you what, I'm such a space geek. And it turns out that Trish worked at Kennedy for a little while. Well, actually for a long while. And so I had to pick her brain all about that. I mean, she actually gave tours to people who visited the launch pads. So I drove up on Friday afternoon. It took me about 3.5 hours, which was great because I avoided the big bad highway where there's always a backup. That was wonderful. So I got there and, it was like, hi, and I ran up and hugged her and she's like, oh, okay. I don't know. I think, sometimes I'm a lot. When I meet you, I'm excited and it's like, I've known you all my life, and yeah, I think I'm a lot. But Trish just took it all in, and I immediately was just thrilled, just amazed. It's all the things with her home, because she doesn't just have a house like most of us have with a yard and that's it. She has a house, and her backyard is kind of a working farm with pigs and chickens and some goats. Actually, the goats didn't come into the backyard, but they were a little further back. And her mom has a little cottage in the backyard. Sweet, charming little cottage for her mom. And so she's a gardener too, Trish is. And so she's got beautiful flowers everywhere. And so she brought me in and we sat down on her back porch, which has become my favorite place on earth. Not kidding. I could sit on that porch for days, weeks, months, years. I really could. If I lived next door to her, I'd be at her house every morning drinking coffee. She would probably be kicking me out, having to be kicking me out. Well, anyway, so I came in, I got to know her whole family, her husband, her mom, and 2 other members of the family, Tootsie and Grady. Tootsie is a little peanut of a dog. And when I've seen Tootsie on, when I've watched Trish's videos, she looks, bigger than what she actually is. She's just this little peanut. And she's a pug Chihuahua mix. And so She's so funny. She's just kind of a bossy little lady that just knows what she likes, and you just better give her that. And she's very easygoing, very easy to get along with. But when you pick her up and you put her in your lap, she kind of yelps at you. It's kind of funny. And then there's Grady. Grady, I was ready to pack in my car and bring home with me. He is a collie. I think he's 6 or 7. And he was just, such a big old lovable teddy bear. I just wanted to hug on him all the time. It was wonderful. So we sat down. Trish had fixed a charcuterie board. Just got here.
Yeah.
And look at this. I feel like a queen.
Food is very important.
Oh my gosh. It's just such a feast.
So, okay, we'll get back to you because it's time to eat.
Oh my goodness, I felt so fancy. It was the perfect meal to have after driving for 3.5 hours because I didn't want something, big and heavy. It wasn't like, I was starving and I needed something to eat. It wasn't like that at all. I just thought, just nibble. Perfect. I don't know how she knew that, but she did. And she had 2 of them actually. And so we sat and chatted and kind of got to know each other, and it was wonderful. And then she gave me a tour of her sewing rooms. Rooms, plural, yes, because Trish doesn't just sew. She does a whole host of things. And one of the things I want to tell you about her is that she will tell you, if you walk in with her to her sewing room, she'll go, oh, this is a complete mess. But it's not. It is delightful. It is a wonderful, I don't want to say explosion. I think that's the wrong word, but it's just this experience of color and pattern. And she's just got all these things, a lot of fabric that shows, that's stacked. And it's one of those places like, those little gift shops you walk into where they're kind of vintagey, kind of cottagey, that whole feel, that whole vibe. That's exactly what her sewing room is like. Then she's got another room where she's got even more fabric, and it's beautifully, beautifully displayed. And other storage things. She had 5 boxes of patterns. Now these were, like milk crate size boxes, but 5 full of patterns. She said, okay, you need to go through all of those and pick out the ones you like. I said, okay, well, I brought a big tub, a big container of patterns, so you have to go through those. So we did. We swapped patterns. We didn't do it that night, but then she took me into the room where I stayed, which was enchanting. Oh, it was so, so comfortable, so welcoming, very cottagey, It's just so pretty. Trish made this. Wow. But not overdone. I think, I didn't feel like I was walking into Hobby Lobby. And I think sometimes you can, she's just got such great taste. And I got to tell you, that comforter on the bed was so soft, so incredibly soft. She likes lots of pillows. I like lots of pillows. To be honest, her husband said to her at one point through the weekend, you guys are like interchangeable. And I thought, what a compliment. Because I know I like to decorate and I know I want a comfortable house, and I have a comfortable house, but her house was just so welcoming, So we turned in for the evening, and then we got up Saturday morning and sat out on the porch and drank coffee, because on the porch she has a table and chairs, but the porch is really almost the length of the house. And so she had 2 rockers, a table and a little footstool, and you could just sit there, and I could have sat there for literally years. As long as you kept me in coffee, I would have been just absolute heaven. She's got these beautiful curtains that hang, and this is a screened in porch because this is Florida and that's what you have to have. But it was, there's a gentle breeze flowing, and you had the bird feeder where you had these little, I'd never heard of them, birds, I forget what she called them, that would land, and the sounds of the farm and the chickens. And she has a chicken named Kellogg. Isn't that hilarious? If you're my age, you know exactly what that is. It's the rooster that is on the Kellogg's Cornflakes cereal box. She said, oh, that's Kellogg. I just laughed. So all the sounds and that breeze, and oh my gosh, the company. So then it was time to feed the animals. So I followed her out, and it was so funny because, she gets a handful of this feed and she goes to throw it, and all of a sudden, all the chickens come running. That was hilarious. She has 3 pigs, which are big, and they're pigs, so they're not exceptionally attractive. But you know what? They're terrifying to look at because they're big, and also they look like pigs, and yet they're big softies. One of them rolled over and she was rubbing its belly, and I was tempted, but I did not get down and rub the pig's belly. I did not really feed the chickens, but I got to see the goats too, because they were kind of in a little stall, and they got up on the edge of the fence, and it was just so much fun. She goes, I would take you in to see them, but they'll butt you. And I thought, oh, well, thanks. I think I can skip that. Her backyard has this little walkway that goes between her house and her mom's house, and flowers with, tubs. It's just beautiful. She has such a gift for making a home and making a farm on the scale that she has. It's not like a big deal farm, but I mean, it's a legitimate farm. So we did that. Then we decided, okay, let's get up and get going. We are getting ready to go. We're going to go thrifting at a rummage sale that apparently is amazing. So the first thing we did was got Starbucks because, yeah, that's the first thing you always do. So we went to a church rummage sale, and we didn't find anything of note there really beyond some ribbon. I found these, and I think they were $1 a piece. And so, just your generic ribbon. Yeah, it's always good to have that around. And then we went on to 5 more thrift stores. 5. And here we are again. More shopping. I found a book about clothing. It's a textbook, and then a piece of fabric, actually. So, and we've got a book, and she's going to turn into a junk journal, and a pressing mitt. Woohoo, Dritz! Yes, never heard of that. A mitt. But, Next thrift store, and we're finding things. Trish found these, what are these, pillow shams?
Yeah, pillow shams.
So I have a vision for these. We're at Goodwill. So here we go, linens. Oh, say hi again. So we are looking for lace. Apparently this one has fabric and patterns. We'll see what we can find. We were driven. We were ruthless with the way that we kept going, kept getting in the car and kept going. I finally at one point did need to get something to drink, but I ended up, between all the patterns that Trish gave me and then some patterns that I found at a thrift store. Here's a shot of that.
So Jen just did this. What do you have to say for yourself, Jen? Naughty, naughty. Look at this box of patterns. It's a disease. It's okay. She hit the jackpot.
A lot of it is crafts.
That's her story, and she's sticking to it.
Yeah, busted. I was totally busted.
It's beautiful out here today.
Yeah, I kind of did some damage here. 45 patterns. You got.
That's a new record. I think I got about 5 or 6.
What a lightweight.
I did pretty good. I know. I can't compete. I can't compete.
Oh, I don't need this many patterns. But
We're going to have to open the trunk for yours.
But I found so many that I just thought, these are things that I would rather have than not have. And I do collect patterns. So I'm going to show you a stack, but this is just a very small representation of what I actually got. I got 118 patterns. It's okay though. It's okay. So I'm going to go through these and just show you what they were, kind of indicative, like I say, of what I bought. McCall's, and this is McCall's 820, and it's got to be from the 1950s. It was 35 cents, and it's a Raggedy Ann and Andy pattern. Isn't that precious? And it's the doll and the outfit. I don't even know how old this is. It doesn't, there is nothing on it that gives me any indication of the year, but yeah, there's that. And then doll clothes. Now, doll clothes, I actually have a fondness for doll clothes because when my twins were born back in 1991, one of them was 2 pounds 15 ounces, the other was 3 pounds 15 ounces. So preemies, they were less than 5 pounds when they came home. They were just so tiny. And you know what? Doll clothes would fit them. So that's why I have a fondness for those. Well, I pulled out a couple just because these are really old. Here's an Advance. It's Advance 2164. And you know what? I want to shoot the people that did this. Because clearly they don't know that some of us collect these things, but I don't know when this is from. I would imagine it's probably the early 1950s or maybe even the late 1940s because it's really old. And the pattern envelope is kind of falling apart, but it's, This one is from 1957. This is the kind of thing that if you needed a christening gown for a preemie, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it? But yeah, these fit Jeanette, Gigi's little sister, Tiny Tears, Betsy Wetsy, and Didi baby dolls. I had a Tiny Tears. I did. Did you have a Betsy Wetsy? Do you even know what that is? Yeah. And then I, of course, couldn't pass this one up because it's Chatty Cathy. Did you have a Chatty Cathy doll? Do you know what Chatty Cathy is? Boy, I do. I remember these. I think she had a string on the back and she would talk. And so that's why she was called Chatty Cathy. Well, this is a whole wardrobe for Chatty Cathy that you could make. This is McCall 7181. I don't know what year it's from. I'm sure it says somewhere here, but I don't have the patience to look right now. Then I found some Cabbage Patch Kids patterns. Now I picked them up because they were Cabbage Patch. And the thing about these is that you get the pattern for the person and then you get the pattern for the Cabbage Patch doll as well. So that's the only reason I picked these up. These are Butterick patterns. It's Butterick 4139 and Butterick 3552. And then I found some Daisy Kingdom. Again, it's I collect Laura Ashley patterns, and these are collectible patterns. The designs are collectible, and Daisy Kingdom is kind of hard to get your hands on these days. Simplicity 8594 is this one. Just so cute. Lots of detachable collars. And then this is Simplicity 7084, and you get this, isn't it to die for? You know what? If I had this pattern when my girls were little, I would have made 5 of these and a matching one for me. And there's a little doll's dress that you can make too. So cute. This is from the 1990s, 1996. So, yeah. Then I found a couple of vintage and a Vogue pattern that I wanted to show you. The vintage is, let's see, Simplicity 4920. This is just a pretty little dress with a little belt in the front. And I think that is so slimming. This is from the 1960s, but it is not dated. I just know from all of my Simplicity patterns that are vintage, this is probably 1960s. Maybe early 1960s, maybe 62, 63. I don't know. If you know for sure, then you know. But I have that feeling. It's about when it's from. This is from 1987. But I picked it up because look at this sleeve. Look at that sleeve. Oh my gosh. Talk about a statement sleeve. It's to die for. I love that sleeve so much. So, yeah, I wonder if I can steal it. It's an interesting shape too, because you've got a princess line that's going here, and then you've got kind of a raglan thing. Very interesting, huh? And then this Vogue pattern I've seen on Kittenish Behavior. Sean from Kittenish Behavior has made this multiple times. This is Vogue 8577, and I've wanted it for a long time, and then there it was. I think this one was from Trish, so thanks again, Trish. And it wouldn't have been complete, all my pattern shopping and getting and all the thing over the weekend, if I hadn't found something Laura Ashley, because, I'm a huge just aficionado of Laura Ashley. So there was this one, McCall's 4548. It was in kind of bad shape, the envelope was, so I've taped it up and kind of repaired it a little bit, but it's a little girl's dress and bonnet. So precious. This is from 1978. So definitely collectible. I was able to also find tracing paper. I don't think this has been used. I didn't get it out and look at all of the pages, but I don't see any marks. So yeah, tracing paper. You know, I used to hate this stuff, and now I'm kind of a fan. I need a decent tracing wheel. And then I found these pillow shams, and I have a vision for these. These are so pretty. They're yellow with this beautiful trim on the edges, and then the backs look like this. And I think what I want to do is make a skirt using the trim with box pleats that have this on the outside and then that on the inside of the box. I just think, oh, that would be beautiful. So that's my vision for this. I don't know that I'm going to get it done anytime soon, but you know, you never know. And then I found this. This is Home Dec. Feels like 100% cotton. It's kind of canvasy, kind of denim-y, really. And it's almost 5 yards. I can't believe that. So this is probably going to be some kind of a skirt or a jumper for my youngest, Michaela. I do have some pink that would make a great t-shirt with it, but she wasn't wild about that. And it was a little bit light and kind of washed her out. So I don't know. I'm going to see if maybe I can find some of this darker blue here and maybe make a t-shirt out of that. So that was that. That was pretty much the extent of the weekend. That was plenty enough because 118 patterns. Wow. Definitely a hobby. It's a collection hobby thing. Yeah. Store. Okay, last one.
We're hoping to get a gold mine.
Let's see what we can find. We did it. We hit them all. And I am complaining now because I wanted some old thread and the spools were $1 a piece. You know.
For thread that's going to break.
Thread that's going to break. And you know, when you are complaining about the prices at a thrift store, you are really cheap. That's how cheap I am.
When you're mad about $1 for thread, then, but also you have the knowledge. So
yeah, true. Okay.
We've decided we're interchangeable.
We are the same person that was split in half.
We are.
Pretty much. Yep. Okay, we're back and we're having charcuterie, which is really cool. And she's got this really cool looking, this is pesto Gouda. Oh, that's
Really
yummy.
good.
Oh, it's really, really
Highly
good.
recommend from Aldi's.
On Sunday, well, let me also add that on Saturday night, we're such old ladies. Honestly, we really are, because it got to be about 8:15 and we were like, can we turn in yet? Can we go to bed yet? We were so tired. Oh my gosh, we were just wiped out. So about 9 o'clock, we lasted until about 9 o'clock. And we were watching YouTube. We were watching Sewing YouTube on her television. It was kind of fun. So turned in, got up Sunday morning, and of course we went outside and sat on the porch and drank coffee. And we talked, and we must have sat there for 3 hours. And it was so hard to say goodbye. It was really difficult to say goodbye. She has a neighbor that was getting rid of an IKEA desk with trestle legs. And I had my eye on that desk and was probably going to maybe see if I could get it in IKEA on my way home, because I knew I had to go home through Orlando. So her neighbor was getting rid of it and just said, hey, do you want this desk? And she said, well, I don't need it. Do you want it, Jen? And I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yes. So we broke it all down, loaded it into the car, and I brought it home. And I was initially thinking it would be a great desk for my sewing machines, and it may still, but if not, it'll be a great desk for my husband because I'm redoing his office. So that was a bonus. And honestly, I was ready to cry when I left. I didn't cry because I just had such a good time. I went in with with knowing her as a friend, I left knowing her as a sister, you know, and not just a sewing sister, but a real person that I clicked with and that I feel like I found just a true friend that, you know, you have so many things in common with. You can just, you know, it's like, I don't know that we're quite finishing each other's sentences, but we're really close. So it was incredible. One of the joys of my life with regard to YouTube has been meeting people, not just other YouTubers, but all kinds of people that I've gotten to know and that are just a joy. And I think these people have come into my life because of this thing. And I could not be more thankful. Could not be more thankful. Coming up, we are all going to attend a sewing expo in Lakeland, Florida. So I'm hoping to see not just them, all of them, but other people who are here in Florida who sew, who might be attending the expo. If you are, please make a point to come and look me up because I would love to meet you. So yeah, I'm hoping to get up there again soon, except that it's my turn to host Trish. So maybe when she comes, we'll go thrifting again and have a great time. Hopefully I can put together as elaborate and beautiful and tasty a charcuterie board as she did. And although my porch isn't quite as beautiful and welcoming and just as hers, I don't know. I think she might enjoy sitting out there with me with a cup of coffee, and I don't know. We'll see. Trish. So I will see you next time, and don't forget who loves you the most.